Graham. We head down the hill. Apologies, Tom's dropped out a little bit back there, but yeah, Mark putting Graham under pressure, but again he's got to be so careful. It's harder in the dirty air. Graham's got reasonable straight line speed. This is a reasonable opportunity. Graham just breaking the toe a little bit, and he's putting on a good defensive battle, but 190 mile an hour, and we're topping out. Mark looks for a move. Graham thinks, I see you there, I'm going to give you a bit of space because I don't want you banging into me and spinning me out. And they both drive very sensibly, give each other room. Mark backs out of it. That was the right thing to do on that occasion. Appreciate Mark is frustrated and he wants to make a move where he can, but it's not happening just yet. Lee out in front meanwhile has picked up a 4.5-5 second advantage over these boys. Such is the pace advantage and the fact that Graham is having to hang on from Mark. You do get the feeling if Mark can get through, he'll be considerably quicker than Graham, but at this stage probably not quick enough to catch Lee. There is just not much of the race left to go, and that gap is getting ever bigger. They're close again. We'll go on board with Mark again, but you know, again, this is where these boys have got to be so careful, because this track is reasonably wide, but when you're doing this kind of speed, that is quite a narrow strip of tarmac, and Mark needs to be going whatever side Graham's car isn't. Graham parks it on the middle line. Mark's gone over the curve. That's lost him a lot of time. Keep it together, Mark. Oh, I think frustration got the better of him there, and he's thrown it away. Lee in the pits. Lee must have had a drive-through penalty. Oh, this is an unbelievable turn of events. At the final race of the season, we've just seen Mark throw it away from what was third place at the time. Lee's in the pit lane because of presumably a drive-through penalty. Graham is now out in the lead by 3.5 seconds in the Jaguar. You heard that right. You heard it here first. The Jaguar is leading for the first time this season. But let's not discount this man, Oz Phillips. He's the only man who has beaten the Nissans for a race victory this season. Don't forget that. And he's close to Graham on track, and in the background we've got two Nissans going side by side. We've got action all over the shop now, and this really does throw everything wide open. Coops and Mark fighting over second place in the championship. They're third and fourth on track. You can't work out which is which though, because there's contact between the two. Mark gives Coops a bit of a shove and says no, you're not coming through that easily. But Graham is out in the lead in the Jaguar with a lap and a half left to run. Coops messes it up. Mark holds the line brilliantly and continues in third place, but Coops messed it up and now he's going to have to go on the march again to try and catch up. Dukes is in fifth. We've not even seen Dugamus this race, and been very anonymous, but holding on to a decent fifth at the moment. Lee is recovering in sixth place. It's actually not bad considering he's had a drive-through penalty. Dom not having the best finish to the season, unfortunately. He was racing ever so well though earlier on in the day, and Grizzly has showed some little glimmers, some little elements of good racecraft that are just starting to show through, and it's really been helped by him having the wheel. He is in the worst car, so I think we're going to see better from him in other series and seasons as we go through. And Andy also not having a very good end to the season here. He's in the best car, but out in front we have a lap to run, and it is Graham in the Jaguar who leads, and it is Oz in second place at the stadium. So it's almost a dead cert. I have to be careful what I say, that we're going to have a non-Nissan victory for the final race of the season, and it could very well be that Jaguar take their very first victory in the very final race, and what a way to do it. Graham's been knocking on the door of some good results this season, hasn't done every meeting, don't forget. Some of these boys have done every meeting, and Mark is not going to be close enough to put Mercedes or the Jag under pressure. So I think we are probably going to be in for a treat of three different cars in the top three positions for the final race of the season, but it really is a case of what order. And at the moment Graham's holding on beautifully, so it's going to be interesting to see. Coops has dropped way off of Mark now. Coops has obviously had a big moment, and so that may settle the argument over second place in the championship. I think if Coops had finished ahead and got a little way ahead of Mark, he could have had second place, but I haven't done the maths. It's been too difficult to do the maths while we've been commentating, but I think Mark will be able to secure second place. Graham's now got a 2.5, 3 second advantage over Oz Phillips, and we've got just about a quarter of a lap left to run, not far to go. The way Graham's driving and the lack of sliding from the back of that car suggests to me he's got it under control. I don't want to jinx it, but in the background Mark is caught right up to the back of Oz's car as we go on board. I don't think he's going to quite do it as we go through the final double left-hander before we get to the chicane. But what we really want to see is coming up to the line for the final time this season. It's going to be Graham. He wins in the Jaguar. We finally see a victory for Jaguar. He's the only other guy other than this man, Oz Phillips, to beat the Jaguars in a race. And Oz finishes second. Mark is third in the Nissan. And Coops will be fourth. Duke's fifth. Lee, a rather dishonourable finish, unfortunately, at the end of it. Finishes sixth after that drive-through. Dom is seventh. Grizzly eighth. I think Dom had a drive-through as well. And Andy's going to round out the finishes. But Graham finally takes a victory for Jaguar, and in fine style. Well deserved. It was slightly unfortunate the way that it was won in terms of Lee getting the drive-through, but Graham certainly worked for that one, and a great final finish for Oz as well, who up until this race was the only man to beat a Nissan for a victory. And Mark would be pretty chuffed, I think, with a third in the final. So there is confirmation of your results. Oz actually only just holding on ahead of Mark because of a 1 second track limits penalty.